Do we need to prop it up? Do you think?
Nope.
Be more light? Less light? What do you think?
Oh, this is kind of bright.
Okay. Better?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it says we have 2 viewers.
Hi, hey, how's it going?
I usually wait a minute and then I'll introduce ourselves. So then you introduce yourself first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
As soon as, if anyone is here, say hello. Oh, look, now we have 1 viewer. You can move that Ileana and sit there.
All right. Cover this up because we can't do any advertising.
That doesn't matter. Oh, but we have to say, this video is not sponsored by Red Bull or by Rain. We just like drinking it.
I just like the picture on the can.
Oh,
it's got a crown.
It's our friend Mally.
Good morning, Mally.
Hey, Mally.
Mm-hmm.
Since there's 2 watching, I wonder who the other one is. I don't know.
I don't know, but thanks for watching.
Okay. All right. Since we have a viewer, just introduce yourself.
Tell a
little bit about yourself.
I am Jesse Whitson. I bowl. I play with computers. And all right, let me get rephrase that. I don't play with computers. I fix them. And when I bowl, it's a little interesting. Hi. If you didn't catch that, I'm missing a finger. But so I bowl a little differently than most people.
Oh, I already tell this will be an amusing morning.
You should have made more coffee.
All right. You want to introduce me since you're so comical?
Oh yeah. This is the wife, the whole person. She is not part robot.
Why did you even say that?
And she is the owner of this webpage. Wait, no, it's not a webpage. It's a
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
Yes, there you go.
And I don't know. What do you want to introduce yourself as?
I am the creator behind the lens. I'm the one that annoys everyone in my house by taking their picture and doing videos. I'm the one that decided to make a YouTube channel to chronicle our lives living in an RV. I'm the one that decided we're doing this. Hey, Jess, guess what? You're going to talk about yourself. The last 2 videos we did was super popular. A little more popular than all the other videos I've done on the channel thus far. And some people who watched the video had some questions. So I thought this would be a good time to hop on here, answer any questions that people say in the chat, and maybe tell some, I guess, funny stories about ourselves. So, Mally and whoever else is watching, do you have any questions about Jesse and his amputation?
Yeah, my Terminator parts.
Or about living in an RV, or homeschooling, move from a house to a cozy RV with 3 kids. Any questions? Oh, Mally asks, what height did you pick?
So I picked my original height overall, which came out to be 5'10".
Why didn't you choose higher?
I thought about choosing higher, but it actually came down to I just got out of the hospital and I didn't have to want to buy new pants.
Oh my god.
Being so I didn't know if I was actually going to get on disability because I already got denied a couple times. I was a little unsure on how I was going to be able to support myself, and so why change if I already have all the stuff for my current height?
He didn't want to buy new pants.
I didn't want to buy
Ladies
new
and
pants.
gentlemen, that's why he chose the height that he did.
I know it sounds silly when you look at it, but It meant something.
All right. So what do you mean by saying that you got denied got denied disability a couple of times? I mean, you got your legs hacked off. Why wouldn't they just say, yeah, you're disabled?
Well, it turns out they were expecting them to grow back. No, not really, but it turns out everybody gets denied disability. They always deny you the first time, is what I was informed.
I've got denied twice.
And it's a process. So much so that it involves, all right, hey, I got to call you up and say, how's it going? And I wanted to see how this disability is progressing. All right, well, we're going to move it, that page, 1 inch further down the line. All right, and then it's not going to move until you actually call again. That's actually kind of how it operates, or at least it feels that way.
Right. Yeah, Mally says that would have been a lot of money spent on new clothes if you picked taller.
I thought about it. I could have been an awesome 8-foot person.
Oh, my God.
But I'd probably hit my head in this trailer, too, so who knows?
Any other questions? We didn't really have a game plan of what we would talk about, really. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I always said that I was part Terminator because, well, hey, I am still waiting for my T800 parts. I am right now a part of the T5 line, so I got a long ways to go. You already saw the leg. There were some pretty cool things. Got to try out a bunch of new lines of prosthetics that actually were just like, boop, and it automatically levels to see what for your new shoes and everything. So every time I get a new pair of shoes, I have to get them adjusted. So I don't change my shoes.
And this prosthesis doctor likes to talk, so we're there for like 2 hours every time. Mally
Nice guy though.
Mally asked another question. How long have you guys been married, Jesse?
We've been married for 14 years.
Jesse.
No, I've been married to this person right here, and I've only been married once. And we've been married, it's 2017, now it's 2020. So we've been married 3 years.
Look, he passed. He got the length right. Does anybody want to hear about how we met? If you say yes in the comments, it'll be a little story about how we met.
Well,
no, gotta wait to see if they're interested first. If not, then we'll just go on to something else.
Those comments are typing really fast.
I do like the video quality on this one better than. Oh, that was their next question. Okay, so let me just do a little backstory on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesse worked at Best Buy. I brought in my computer there like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, because I'm super lucky with electronics. And then I would go to bars and play and just like do karaoke or just, drink at the bars. And Jesse would be there doing pool league, but we never met there. We met one night. I was sleeping on someone's couch because I was in between houses, and she came back from a Tinder date, and she was complaining about it. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have my profiles on some dating websites. Maybe I'll just check to see what's out there because why not? His picture was on the website. Right? Your picture was on the website?
Yeah, my picture
was on the website, and he had what I thought was a real name. Well, his first name was real. I was pretty sure his last name on there was fake. It was Smith. And so I messaged him, and then he replied, and then we exchanged phone numbers right away, and we started talking. And then Jesse said, how about we go meet for dinner? And we just figure out, just let's meet for dinner and we'll go from there.
And then she filed some paperwork and I was adopted.
Adopted?
Oh my God. No. So then, and we'd only been talking for like a day. So we decided, get the meet and greet out of the way, see how it's going. So I was working at Safeway, at Safeway, and there's this Mexican restaurant right by there. And so I said, all right, I'll meet you there after work. He said, okay, no problem. And then I realized I didn't bring any clothes to change. She's like, Melly says, haha. She's like, sure, I got room for one more.
And she definitely feels that way too.
So, okay, so I'm at work, and then I realized I didn't bring any clothes that weren't greasy, deadly smelling clothes to change out of. So I went a couple doors down to Old Navy, and I bought new pants, a new shirt, and new like zippered up hoodie. And I walked over. I was a little late, a little bit. I walked over to the restaurant, and it was a little crowded. You know, I hadn't actually met him in person, and I was super nervous. So I had my phone, my crappy smartphone that I had. I don't even think it was a smartphone.
Well, it was part flip phone.
Anyways, so I had it open, and I had the message on the screen saying, sorry, I had to work. I can't make it. And I had my finger over the send button when this dude appeared out of nowhere. So that's how close it was to not happening. So then we're sitting at the table, and we're getting ready to order. And in my mind, I'm looking at the menu because I only have a certain amount of money on me, and I wasn't sure if I was paying for the meal or if he was, or if we were splitting it or whatnot. So I ordered the thing that I thought would be the least expensive thing on the menu, and I ordered a taco salad. I was much thinner then, so Jesse was under the impression that I ate really healthy all the time.
Yeah. Because
And
she
then
had salad.
And that I ran because that's what girls do to lose weight. I've corrected him on. I've corrected him on that one. So then, we're talking, doing the whole getting to know each other. I asked him what he does, where he works, and he says at Best Buy. And I say, "Oh, you must work a lot of hours." And you said,
"Not as many as I would like."
I said, "Oh, how come?" And he said,
"Because of my disability."
And what is the appropriate thing to say in response to that? Things like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's sad to hear," or, "That's okay." No, the thing that you should say on a blind date is, "What's wrong with you? You look fine." That's what you should say. Kelly, leave her alone, okay? Anna, quit answering for us. And so that's what I said. I said, "What's wrong with you? You look fine." And Jesse spit out this long worded sentence, something along the lines of,
"I am a bilateral W amputee."
No, he said bilateral below the knee amputee.
That's it.
Bilateral double below the knee amputee. So it's not; those are words that you don't actually hear all the time in your day-to-day life. So I'm like processing in my head, and he's like, "Oh, I got amputee on both legs." I'm like, "Okay." Then I asked him how it happened, and he tells me in May of 2010 he got bacterial meningitis. And I said, "Were you in the newspaper?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think I was." I'm like, "I heard about that happening because my middle daughter was born in May of 2010. So then I was like, "Oh, just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't work. I have one, and I work just fine." So then Jesse, of course, said, "What's wrong with you? You look fine."
Well, if it's okay for her to say, it must be safe for me.
So then, at that point, I was like, "Do you know what multiple sclerosis is?" And he said,
"Yes, I do. My mother has it."
And then he just went on talking like it was no big deal. Like I wasn't going to give him multiple sclerosis, or I wasn't going to infect him with a disease. So Nally says that's how you know you were meant to be.
That's what I said. Right time, right place, right story.
Right, exactly. And so then so that was like point number one. He didn't treat me like I was like a fragile person ready to kill over or ready to infect him with something. So then
you can't infect me with much more, babe.
And so then we realized we were like almost the last people in the restaurant. They were trying to close up and stuff. So then we go outside. Now, were we going on a walk before or after you went to your trunk of your car? Or did you go to your trunk of your car first off?
I think we went for a walk before.
So we were just walking around like the Safeway Forum parking lot area, and then it started getting a little chillier. So then Jesse went to his car and got into his trunk to get his coat out because that's where he put it. He opened the trunk, and then I laughed hysterically. I like doubled over in laughter. Now, what do you think happened that made me laugh so hard at what I saw in his trunk? Any guesses? I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to see what you think might be in his trunk that made me laugh so horribly.
Here's a tip. It wasn't a computer. You have any Jeopardy music?
No, I don't have Jeopardy music. Let's see. Any ideas? So it was not an axe. Nope, not a rope either, Mally.
Ooh, that would have been a good idea.
Was there a rope in there?
No, there wasn't a rope in there.
Okay, nope, not a rope. Flowers? That's not a bad idea.
I'm not that romantic, unfortunately. Just ask her.
All right. One more guess, and then I'm going to tell you what was in the trunk. Let me see how fast it comes through from here to there. It's the same.
Who likes scary movies?
A singing machine? Oh, that's pretty quick. Okay, cool. All right. Not a singing machine, like a karaoke machine. Not flowers, not a rope. It was a shovel. Yes, there was a shovel in his trunk of his car. Now, why do you think it would have made me laugh so horribly? A karaoke machine. Nope, not a karaoke machine. So a shovel.
I had to bury her so she wouldn't get away.
Oh my god. So I was told a coworker that I was going on a blind date, and she's like, no, you can't meet someone for the first time on a blind date. You know, you can't do that. What if he's an axe murderer and he has an axe in his trunk? And he takes you somewhere and kills you. He didn't have an axe in his trunk. He had a shovel in his trunk. So after I got hold of myself and stopped laughing, I had explained to him what happened. And he said that, what was the reason you had a shovel in your trunk all the time?
So my dad always told me to keep a shovel under my trunk because during the wintertime when the snow hits, it makes it easier to get out in case you get stuck.
Excuse me, you suck at getting out of the snow in your car with a shovel, by the way.
Here's the thing. It was not wintertime. I just left it in there because I hadn't gotten around to the point of taking it out. In fact, I went all the way through summer without even taking it out. I just left it in.
Yeah, so that was funny. And then, so we walked around some more, and then he went home, and I told him a friend of mine, a coworker, was going to be right home. And then he messaged me when he got home, want to know if I got home okay. And I said, oh, it's okay, I'm just going to walk home. It was like a 2 mile, maybe 3 mile walk home, which is fine. I didn't mind. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll just come and get you. He's 23 miles away, and he decides to come and get me. So that was point number 2. Oh, wait, no. That was point number 3. Point number 2 on our first date was when he was getting ready to go home, finally, he said, I know we just met, but I really like to kiss you. Is that okay? Yes, he asked permission to kiss me. What person does that these days? They just dive in and hope for the best. So after that first date, we spent I want to say like 3 weeks constantly together until one night he went over to his sister's house and he rolled over in his sleep to reach out for me. That's when he knew he was hooked. He sent me this really nice song, but he doesn't remember sending it. It was going to be played at our wedding, but we decided to go with a musical number instead, like just music and no words as we walked down the aisle.
Still a pretty song.
Yes. Such a tree. All right. Do you have any questions for him about his disability? I use quotation marks because, well, he's pretty abled. We do a lot of stuff. He does a lot of stuff. Anybody have any questions for him?
How do you like being a dad? I will have to say it is much different than what most people portrayed or explained. It's awesome, though.
He was not afraid to tell my... Illy, put your foot down. He was not afraid to tell my whiny, crying children no and walk away. Or pick up Jackson, tell him no because he whined about something he couldn't have, and put him into a room and say, when you're done crying, come out. At 3. Like, I was like, oh, that's so sad. But he's better now. They're much better at that. I always kid him and say, don't you wish we could have had a kid of our own together, like with our DNA mixed in there together, so that way you would have not missed out on all the fun baby stuff, like all the pooping and the crying and the pooping.
I got 3. I'm
and the
fine.
Pooping and the pooping.
I skipped all of the
the
diaper changing parts.
Jackson was wearing a pull-up at night, but shortly after Jackson and Jesse met, it wasn't that long afterwards. It was less than a year later. He was totally potty trained. And being the last 4 years, I think Jackson's peed his bed like 5 times total. That's mainly when he's not feeling good. And Jackson was talking at that point. Jackson was the first one to meet Jesse out of all 3 kids.
Jackson's the youngest.
Yeah, Jackson is the youngest one, and then it's Ileana, and then it's Hannah. Mally's the one that Ileana has the same birthday. Mally asked, how long did it take for you to master your prosthetics?
Quite a... Yes, Jackson is pretty close to my twin, yes. For how long it took me to master the prosthetics, it actually took a lot longer than you might have would have expected, and it actually was dependent on what I was doing. As far as mastering my prosthetics for bowling, that was probably the most difficult part. As far as just walking and getting up the steps, it took me a few months. I don't remember how long. I believe it was 3. And you're basically relearning how to walk. It involves using a cane, using a walker, one of those, to get around, and then being how you don't have any ankles to adjust to different heights and lengths. When you step on something that's just slightly a little curved, it can really topple you. So you got to make sure and be cautious about which areas that you take steps at. There are bonuses to it. 1, I don't have to worry about spraining my ankle anymore. And 2, she never has to worry about me having stinky feet.
Yeah, his feet might not be stinky, but man, in the summertime, when he peels off his prosthetics off his legs, oh my gosh, it is like drenching in sweat. Like you could probably like go slip and sliding as a little ant down his leg.
Yeah, there's so much sweat in those things that I can wake up the next morning and there will still be sweat at the bottom of it, even if I wipe them down. But But as far as bowling, that took probably a year and a half to 2 years to be able to get back into it. I kept slipping and sliding all over the place. I've literally had to have my bowling ball re-drilled because these two are the two fingers for bowling, and as you see, I'm missing one. So I had to find some people who were really good ball drillers to readjust, to find ways that would actually be able to properly adjust. Eventually, we came down to this. It came to a few issues in the process, mostly coming down to one, stability, and two, of constantly popping my knuckles out of the socket. And so now I use all of my fingers for bowling.
Mally says, Will, her husband, his braces are like that too, especially all day at work. He was working at Walmart. He's at home for right now until it's a whole thing. But anyways, yeah.
The other process is there's multiple lines of prosthetics, and the one that I was using at the time involved adding socks as your legs shrink throughout the day. And then during the morning, you have to take socks off because your legs expanded. And getting it to readjust and find the proper fitting throughout the whole time made quite a few issues and complications. I ended up finding as many times as possible to sit more often than I actually was walking or standing.
So, any other questions? Come on. Let's see.
Well, I got something. So after I got out of the hospital and I finally got moved out and learned how to walk, prosthetics, and learning how to drive and everything, I did make some changes after getting out of the hospital. I came to the conclusion I was going to try to find out why I was able to see 100% clearly again. And the way I decided to do that was taking some very extreme, and I mean very extreme, routes to changing my diet. In the morning, I would grab one of those Ninja Bullets, and I would put oatmeal in there, put some spinach, some kale, some fruit, some apple cider vinegar, and then I'd throw some cinnamon in it, and just a bunch of stuff that was all healthy and everything, blend it all up and chug it down to drink it. And then for lunch, I'd just eat a salad. And then for dinner, I'd have just rice, beans, and then once a week, I would have some sardines. And needless to say,
it was gross and disgusting.
But I was trying hard to see if I could figure out a way to fix it. Came to the conclusion that it wasn't going to work. I tried quite a few other routes in the process. But as far as other things, I've reduced my activity level by quite a bit. I went from 7 leagues to 2 leagues before she met me. And then after I met her, it came down to just 1. Main reason is because the other issue that I had that I was diagnosed with at the age of 20 started hitting me a lot harder. I have arthritis in both my hands.
Melly asked the question, and she wanted to know, do you get new ones? And if so, how often or how often do you get to go get them looked at?
I get them looked at as needed. Generally, they prefer you to go get them looked at about every 6 months. No, I don't do that. It's actually closer to about maybe once a year.
Mainly when you're when they're not fitting really well, or he needs new pieces to it, or new socks, or
there's
something.
An adjustment that I just can't do myself.
Or when he gets new shoes, things like that.
As far as getting new ones, it comes down to insurance on that one. Insurance generally does not like it if you have new ones before every 5 years.
How long did you have the first pair, the pair that you used when I met you?
I had that pair.
Was that the original pair you had?
No.
No.
That wasn't the original pair. I want to say 7 years.
All right. That was a pretty good run.
Yeah. I did try to, after seeing a bunch of videos and a bunch of other people in prosthetics doing a lot of cool things, I'm like, ooh, I can run. Okay, I got to learn how to run. All right. Ooh, I can do breakdancing. Okay, I got to figure out how that works. Oh, I can jump. Okay, I got to figure out how that works. No,
by the way,
passed on all those ideas.
He can't jump.
I can't jump. It's either A, really painful for me. I don't know how some of those other people do it.
Well, because he doesn't have any ankle joints in his prosthetics.
And then,
it's just flat.
And then after seeing people with prosthetics run in them, I tried that too, and that was actually a lot more painful than I expected. But I eventually learned how to be able to adjust it to where it wasn't painful enough. The biggest issue I had with it is once you start, the most difficult part is actually stopping.
It's like ice skating. You just stop and you fall into the wall. It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well when you're actually have nowhere to stop. It's like, all right, the only way to stop is actually to fall over.
Yeah, so when I met him in his closet, his pack rat closet, he had one prosthetic leg that had like a wooden thing on it that he used for a pirate costume.
Yes, in fact, that was the first year I had prosthetics and had Halloween.
And then also in that same closet, he had a pair of the running legs where the feet are the ones that are curved.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't a Nike brand?
Yeah, it was the Nike running legs that they had at the time. And I was actually trying really hard to get physically fit. Figured running would be an option. Was never a big runner in the past, but was when I was a teenager.
This is ridiculous. Okay, just look at your battery power. Like it's barely gone down. If I was on my computer, it would have been dead by now, sitting here not plugged in.
Yeah, I know. Lenovo. Always leaving you wanting more.
Do not get a Lenovo at all, ever. Battery suckage, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any questions about the RV in particular? How we do stuff in the RV? Why we chose the RV that we did? Anything like that? Oh, Allie says noted about the Lenovo. Yes.
We're
using a Dell computer right now. It's Jesse's, but his boss saw his computer that like the hinge was wonky and then the power button has a crack on it. He's like, you know what? Here, I'm going to buy you this thing and you'll just like pay for half of it by working for me a little bit extra and call it good. And so Jesse just works and then he pays him back the money. So when my computer crops out which I won't be surprised if it lasts another year because it's been a good 2-year run. Yes, I'm not horrible on computers. Plus, the Dell, I like it because it's super lightweight. Anyways, do you have any questions about the RV life? What it is? How do we do it? Oh, how you like this RV versus the other one? Like 80% better, I think.
So I'd probably say insanely better. The other one was super nice, but the things that I like about this one is if I ever haul it around, it is much lighter, it is smaller, and so I get better gas mileage in the truck because of it.
So the original one we had was a Grand Design Imagine 3170 BH, and the BH stands for a bunkhouse, and it was 36 feet 11 inches long. And that one, how much did it weigh? Like around 10,000 pounds? Just under 10,000?
Yeah, just under 10,000.
Just under 10,000. Jesse's truck can hold about 12,000 pounds total. Okay. We thought it'd be great. It was like 4 seasons rated. We liked it because the kids had their own room and there was extra beds in there. But there's just a lot of things we didn't like. Like Jesse said, it was heavy. It took a lot to heat it up. The kids' room was always cold. The furnace system wasn't as great as you would think. And it was really hard for Jesse to use the shower because it was a walk-in shower with no like handles or anything anywhere. And the floor was super cold for anyone to walk across. And, when Jesse doesn't have his legs on, he just walks across the floor using his ends of his knees. And it was just really cold. So after we traveled around and came back, we decided on a hot day, which was our yearly anniversary of our blind date, that we were just going to originally at Blue Dog, wasn't it? Yeah, originally Blue Dog, and he went over to another one, but he's back at Blue Dog now. Anyways, we were like, what could we get for the trade-in? And he said it would depend on what we looked at and what we got. So we got one, and we almost got it traded straight across. This one is 32 feet. The other one was 37 feet. So it's 5 feet shorter and about 5,000 pounds lighter, and it's super warmer. Like, it has an indoor electric fireplace that we use. There's a few things I would have liked a little bit differently. Like, the stoves in RVs still suck. Like, I don't like them. They don't work well. It's just a storage place for pots and pans. And yes, it has a bathtub, but it's a tiny ass bathtub. So he has a hard time in it. I'm like this in the bathtub. So if we ever get another one, it's gonna have like a regular size bathtub. Or
a seated shower.
One of those two. So I can shake my legs without falling over. And Jesse can bathe himself. Okay. Other than that, I don't think there's much I would change about this one. Although, I mean, it'd be nice to have a bigger fridge, but...
So, one of the things you didn't mention that we actually really loved about this thing, even though that the other one was longer and bigger, this one actually feels bigger.
Yeah.
It actually overall looks bigger. I mean, the living room space is ginormous, even though it's not bigger in any size whatsoever. It just flat out looks better to where anyone can play on it, and we still have room to walk around.
Like, yeah, the floor space on it is much bigger than the other one. I'm not sure how that ended up working out that way.
When you stop traveling, do you plan to get a bigger one or before? We're actually thinking that after the kids get old enough to move out, to get a smaller one and travel more.
So after Hannah moves out, and then at that point, we're gonna start looking to see what we can afford. But I'm thinking like a smaller fifth wheel that sits on top of the back of the truck, so it's more stable as you're turning. And a lot of fifth wheels have the ability to have a washer and dryer hookup, too.
And they also usually have a bigger fridge.
Yes, bigger fridge.
I gotta have room to store beer.
But there's things we definitely want to have or not have in the next one. We don't want to have any carpet whatsoever, not even on a slide. We don't want a booth dinette at all. We want like freestanding tables and chairs. We don't really care if it has oven. And more windows. I like natural light. Lots more windows. And most fifth wheels have like cabinets over the overhead cabinet storage. So there's that.
Well, I mentioned it was cheaper at one point in time to actually go into the travel trailer situation. And in 2004, I bought a manufactured home on land, and the actual monthly cost came out to $686, and that did not count electricity, water, sewer, garbage, insurance for the house. It did not cover property taxes. It didn't cover any of that stuff. That actually required me to pay for all that extra stuff out of pocket. So Wi-Fi, television, all of that. So all those little amenities that most people don't even count in their bills didn't get added into that process. Now, if you were to count all of that as far as the travel trailer and the lot that we're renting, so we get water, sewer, garbage. Electricity is extra, but we don't pay that much for it either. We get TV hookup. There's Wi-Fi on premises, but we don't even use it. We use our hotspots most of the time.
So the only bills we have right now is the insurance on the truck and trailer, the lot rent, and the electricity rent or electricity bill, and then our phone bills.
So to count our lot rent, it is $600 plus electric, and then all those amenities are included in the $600. So if you count that out, it is actually cheaper than our actual mortgage without all the amenities.
And the way that we were able to do that is that we don't have a monthly payment on the trailer, because when we sold his house, we just paid for it outright. And then when we traded it over, we just paid the difference outright as well. So we didn't have any monthly payments on the trailer. And then the truck that we bought it from someone from our church that was moving to Hawaii, and we just paid. He just held onto it for us at his brother-in-law's house, and we just paid him when we sold the house. So we had the truck waiting for us, so we didn't have to do that. We didn't have to. There's no truck payment other than the insurance on it.
So I'm pretty sure it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how much cheaper this lifestyle really is. But most people look at it and don't even think that, due to Hollywood and seeing how that they portray it as more of a low class situation, or the more common term trailer trash. It's not really that case. In fact, if you were to take a look around at our RV park, and I'm sure she'll show you eventually, everything around here is roughly 2015 or newer.
Yes. Mally asked, is there a time limit that you can rent that space, or can you keep it while you guys travel again? So it's a month to month.
It's a month to month with no contract. And so anytime that we feel like we don't want to be here anymore, we can actually just leave, or we can hold on to the spot and just continue paying it even if we're not here.
Yeah, like if we wanted to, like, I don't know, travel to the coast for a few weeks or whatever, we just come back, or we can just keep on paying it and save our spot. There's another spot on the couple rows over that they were gone. They were gone for months, and they just got back last month.
Yeah, and then there's other people around here who disappear during the summertime, the whole entire summer, and then just come back during the winter.
Ileon or Hannah and Jackson, please stop touching each other. Get that off the window. Okay? Why don't you go outside? You have to stay in the yard and play with your balls. Okay? Because I don't want you hitting the trailer next door. Yeah, so I mean, it would be like just a flat $600 or whatever for the slot rent, since we won't be using any electricity here. But it's also something like, is that something we would be able to afford to do? But it took us almost a year to get into this spot. That's how little moving out that people do in this area here.
And for the people who actually know how much cheaper this lifestyle is, they definitely aim for it.
I mean, everyone has a little spot. I showed Mally in a video once, but everyone has a shed. Everyone has their own garbage can. Oh, and then they come and pick up our garbage every Thursday morning. We don't have to take it to a dumpster. The garbage truck comes through on their own. Let's see. So everyone has a grass area that they come and they mow for us. So Jesse doesn't have to mow any grass either. That was another selling point to getting the hell out of the house, because he has a really horrible hay fever. He would take like 2 or 3 Benadryl allergy pills, go and mow the front half of the yard, come inside, take a shower, take more Benadryl, and then leaves like he was an old man dying of emphysema or something. And then like a week later, he'd do it all over again. So this way was better. Some people, like one of our neighbors has like flower garden pots and like little garden of like strawberries and growing a ear of corn on the cob. Others have like lots of little yard decorations. There's a few kids around here, but you don't really play with them that much, mainly because of the whole, COVID-19 thing.
Yeah, Corona. Don't forget your limes.
Gas much faster than we planned, so that's why we totally bypassed coming to Northern California to see Mally and to see the redwoods. So I'm hoping by next summer, I don't think this summer, I'm hoping by next summer we can travel down to California at least to see the redwoods and check out some of the northern areas. Nothing like, Los Angeles. That'd be too hectic to drive through. Quick coffee cups. You forgot my... Thanks, Mally, for reminding me. Jesse forgot to get me my creamer this morning at the store when he went. I'm out of creamer. My creamer, it's all gone.
Oh.
I tried drinking it with almond milk. It was gross.
Yeah.
It never blends well.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, Jesse can't have almonds.
No,
Not unless I want to send him to the hospital for a day or two.
it's more about the feelings after the hospital. Oh, my head's loopy.
Any other questions you want to ask? I mean, I usually talk to you, Mally, but anyone else on here that is watching, or if you're watching this in the replay, go ahead and leave a comment below and we can answer any questions you have.
Or if you want, we will save it for the next video.
Sure, yeah, that too.
So if you have other ideas, just feel free. Message, hit the like, hit the ding. Is that what it's called? I don't remember.
If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button. If you want to see more of these videos, be notified. Be sure to hit the subscribe and then hit the bell so that you get an alert every time you get a video. We upload a new video or something like that.
I wouldn't know. The videos that I end up watching on YouTube, I don't say anything like that. I saw the one video. That's about it. Most of the IT people that I watch on here don't say anything about that.
Did you tell your Michigan friend?
I have not.
Tell your Michigan friend that we're online.
Okay.
Message him right now.
Oh, actually, he's working.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's working.
Okay. All right. So let's Mally and whoever else is watching, because it says there's 2 viewers. See?
Well, that could be us.
No, we're not a viewer because it's not open
1,
either.
2.
Oh my god.
Oh. That's all right.
Anyways, do you have any questions about homeschooling related stuff in the RV setting?
Actually, I got one that you should feel like telling. Where did you come up with the name FiveFindFreedom?
I was looking for who are you looking at?
I'm looking to see what you're pointing to.
You? So I was trying to think of a good name for a blog. So I started blogging, and then I was trying to find different, like something catchy, and I came up with different things. And I don't know, what were some other names I came up with? I came up with one that said
Unfiltered. No, Whitson Unfiltered or something like that.
Yeah, Whitson Unfiltered. Another one I did was, what was it? RV3 and Crazy or something like that. Something like that I did. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was like RV3 and Crazy or 3 in RV.
Okay. Well, why did you settle for this one?
Oh, why I settled for FiveFindFreedom? Because I like getting tongue-tied when I say it. For one thing, try saying FiveFindFreedom 5 times in a row.
FiveFindFreedom, FiveFindFreedom, FiveFindFreedom.
There you go. You just messed up. Anyways, so there's 5 of us. These 2 and 3 children. And
well, I only represent a half, but whatever.
I say 3/4. So there's 5 of us, and I wanted, we were finally free of being confined to one space and one time and one place. And so the idea originally was to just travel around and then come back to Oregon every 6 months for, medical stuff and other stuff that we needed to do, but basically be able to roam around. Yeah, we're stuck in one spot, but even if we weren't, even if we didn't have jobs here, I feel like we'd be stuck in one spot anyway with everything going on. So I'm kind of glad that we're here with family. What do you think? Is that a good explanation?
That
Five of
sounds
us
pretty
find
good.
freedom. We ditch the brick, brick building.
Yeah.
Ditched a building to find freedom on the road.
Hi, Myers. Stroke the beard for luck. So I had another question I forgot to mention.
Just Vala said she loves the name.
Okay. I forgot. Well, it'll eventually come back to me.
Nothing? Hey,
No.
Mally, do you have any questions? Also, I really don't know who else is watching us. I don't know. I'm going to tell you. That's okay. Do you miss the old place, the old house, not the old RV?
As far as the house itself, I had that house for a little over 10 years. There was a lot of memories in that house, but quite often I was living alone during that entire time. So I don't really miss the house too much, being I always had to drive out of the city to go to work. Out of the whole time of being there, I always had to drive to places like Bend or Madras, and those were roughly about 30 miles drive one way. As of now, I'm driving much less. It's like close to 5 minutes to get into work on one job, and then it's actually comes out to 16 miles to get back to Redmond from where we live. So it's about 25 minutes to get to Redmond. So I'm driving a little, but nowhere near as often as what I used to be.
I miss the house for a couple of reasons. Has a dishwasher and a bathtub
and a stove.
but mainly a bathtub. That's what I miss the most.
But as far as the place itself, I mean, yeah, it was nice. The neighbors were super nice.
Tell them about the guy in the whitey tighties that Ileana saw.
Yeah.
So the kids are in the front yard, and there's this guy in just whitey tighty underwear with giant ass headphones walking down the street singing and dancing. So I didn't really want to continue having the kids outside, so they didn't really go outside anymore. So now they're able to go outside without fear of like nearly naked men dancing down the road.
We got more sane people here. But there were some things that I wasn't too fond of about the old place. I was struggling with the upkeep due to the cost of the place. It's hard for me to get on my knees with my prosthetics. So it like literally tears up my knees and skin. So that became an issue. As far as what else, the mowing was a tremendous issue for me, as she told you earlier. So I would quite often not mow just because of the sake of the issues.
Until he got a letter from the city saying, your yard is looking like crap. You should probably do something about it soon. But in better words than that.
All right, so the grass is roughly close to almost 6 feet tall. Which is what the issue was. It was a fire hazard, which was their complaint. And so due to the price of everything, it just felt more confining than actually a bonus. Due to my prosthetics, do I have to stay a certain weight?
Like carry a certain weight or his fatness a certain weight? There's a difference.
There is issues on how much I have to weigh. In fact, they have to get readjusted once I pass a certain weightage too.
What's your weight?
My weight right now is 182.
What's the limit?
As far as the limit on this thing, the spring inside of them needs to be readjusted according to what I weigh, and I'd have to get it readjusted if I reach 200.
All right.
As far as other potential issues of weight, my legs could get, if they get fatter, I'd have to get them to a point where that I'd have to get them expanded, and because I wouldn't be able to fit in them anymore. I can only imagine my wife over here trying to carry me to the truck so I can get them fixed.
No.
Do I have a limit on how much weight you can carry? Yes and no. It's kind of a mixed answer on that one. As far as the prosthetics having a limit on how much I can carry, these ones I think go up to like 300 pounds. As far as the reason why, yes, it makes me extremely unstable when I carry over a certain amount.
Hold on. Let me tell you this hilarious story. Okay. So it's our wedding day, and we had gotten married, and then like wasn't your aunt or something? Or your kind of aunt. Freddie's mom was taking her picture.
Mm-hmm.
His best friend Freddie his mom was taking her picture, and she wanted different pictures taken. One of them was him holding me up in his arms, right? And so first I try like climbing his arms, it doesn't work. Another time I tried like jumping in his arms, it didn't work. So then someone brought over a folding chair. I stood up on it. He kind of like held me for like a quick second, took a picture, and then I jumped back out.
Yeah, I had someone behind me also hold my back, making sure they weren't in the picture to make sure I wouldn't fall over because they knew I was unsteady after a certain weight.
Yeah, his dad got so mad when he saw that picture.
Yeah,
so mad.
Main reason for that is I'm not supposed to be lifting anything over 15 pounds.
I'm a little more than 15 pounds, just so everyone knows.
I know, she's 16 pounds. Other reasons why it's a yes, there's a limit is sizes of things. Due to the fact that I have no ankles to help balance myself, if I have something big and heavy and it's hanging out this far, I'm going to topple over like so. So giant boxes are out of the question.
Let's see. We can talk about this all day.
Yeah. I do have time limits on how long I am to be on these prosthetics. Wait, I already talked about that, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
Yes.
It varies by day. Anyways, I didn't tell you what my step count is. I generally go at 6,000 steps before I'm like, okay, I'm done for the day.
Anything? I don't know what else to talk about.
You know what else to talk about?
Mally and whoever else is the other unknown viewer. Do you have any questions about? Well, okay. So we homeschool even before this whole shutdown of the country.
Mm-hmm.
We homeschooled.
The world.
Jesse was homeschooled. Do you want to talk about that?
I was homeschooled. I was both in and out of school and homeschool. I liked homeschooling a lot better and was homeschooled through my entire high school years as well as a portion of my elementary years. I preferred it, and what most people don't realize is if you were to give a regular schooler a stack of assignments and everything, and you were to give a homeschooler a stack of assignments and have both of them learn everything and then get it done, a regular school person would have to have a teacher teach them how it's done and go through it, and at the end of the day do their homework. A homeschooler just gets the assignments done. If they have any questions, they ask. So by the time that I would get done with all of my homeschool stuff, people were still in school working on stuff.
Because it was just you. And you do the assignments, ask your mom or whoever questions, and then be done. You wouldn't have to wait while the teacher explained to 30 kids who were busy doing whatever they do in the classroom.
Yeah. So quite often, my homeschool time frame of learning the same amount as they were, I could easily get done in about 3 hours. There was also certain days to where I was able to get it done even quicker than that.
What would you? Okay. So she has a baby. She's the one that I showed you the picture of that had the baby like premature, a few months premature when we were traveling. That's her.
Okay.
Okay. Honestly, like like my oldest daughter, she read really early, and I would just be reading to him each day, and just talking to him a lot. And like when he's playing with blocks or toys, just point to a color of a block and just repeat it over and over again. Also, I think using a little bit of baby sign language is good in the beginning, especially when he can't talk, if he doesn't talk yet. Like maybe just teach him the sign for if he wants a bottle, like to eat. And then like more is like this. And then, like, I taught the kids, like, this to be all done. I don't know if that's the actual real one, but that's what I did. Ileana, your birthday twin, Mally, she did this when she wanted milk. As you squeeze a boob. Like a cow, like you're milking a cow. So I would just start doing that. Is he talking? He's not walking yet, but is he talking? How long is school during the day? You mean like homeschooling? If you mean homeschooling, it kind of varies. At the end of the school year, one of my children would be doing schoolwork for like 6 hours because it was just a lot of writing and stuff. But this year, and then also it was a lot like 6 hours because she would like to debate about how things were written and what was really right or wrong with math and other things. So this year, Hannah's, my oldest daughter, is going to be doing all 9th grade work. I promoted her up a couple of grades, and she is going to be doing most of all of her schoolwork on Khan Academy. She will still be doing some research papers and stuff like that on paper, and then typing it up on the computer.
So there are also benefits to actually being homeschooled over being schooled. In homeschool, she can actually move up and progress as fast as she feels like. So if she wants to graduate early, it is actually a higher chance with homeschooling than it is actually with public school. Also, when she reaches the high school age, she can actually start taking college courses during her high school years and actually already start working her way towards a degree.
Yeah, so the plan is that she starts 9th grade now. If she spends a whole year, each year doing it, she could be done with high school at 16, and at that point, go and take college classes at the college, or she can just go to work after she's done with high school, whatever she would like to do, as long as she's doing something constructive with her time.
And many homeschool organizations or
charter schools,
or and some public schools will actually register as a homeschool student with them, where they can actually get those things covered as far as the college courses.
Yes. Okay. So it kind of varies how long the school is during the day. So Hannah's like 4 to 6 hours, depending on how long it takes her to do her writing assignments and her math. And then Ellie's like 3 to 4 hours, and Jackson's like around 2 to 3 hours, also depending on how long it takes to do his math. Math is the one that takes the kids the longest to do, not because it's hard. It's just it's math.
It's repetitive. It's more about focusing and getting it done.
So we don't make them like get up and like start school at 8 a.m. We just usually sometime between like 9:30 and 10:30 we'll start. We'll do schoolwork for like an hour and a half, break for lunch, and then do some more schoolwork.
Yeah. Think of it more like flexible schooling versus just like, okay, you're home. They're doing school this time, you have to do it.
Yeah, there's no set start or end time. But we usually do take we usually do school for 4 days a week. Sometimes it was Mondays we took off, sometimes it was Fridays we took off. I think this time we'll still do one of those days off. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah. When I was schooling, my mother would create assignments on the board, and we'd have to complete those assignments before she woke up because she was working nights at the time. That generally included work doing school during the weekends, which most people don't even consider that option. And the reason for that was because there were certain days that we would just randomly take off during the week. We would just take off and do other things. My mother was able to get me a hold of a bunch of computer educational programs and sign me up for. Got me signed up to a bunch of acting classes. I got to meet a lot of cool friends doing that. Also got to I got into a bunch of video editing. We also had one day where we went up and snowboarded the entire day. And then there was also some martial arts classes we got signed up for. So my mother readjusted it to where we got signed up with a lot of different things. And then one of the ones that I signed up to was ROTC, and that was actually through the high school itself. I didn't have to be fully registered as a high school student, but because I was it was on the high school premises, they got noted and everything. And I got to be in the ROTC program, and because at the time I was planning on joining the military.
You okay, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay, where's your sister?
By the way, I never joined the military. I got
just
denied.
told me to find her figure.
Where is your sister?
I don't know.
Weren't you walking outside with her?
Yes, then I went to find her one of this. Then she went the opposite direction.
Mally says, so your mom would leave your assignments and expect you to do them, and you would?
Yes. If not, we did not get access to TV or video games or anything until assignments were done and overviewed and checked. She had to make sure that we didn't purposely write down wrong answers just to hurry up and get them done too. So I had to be verified before we could actually get access to TV or video games. And we were also only limited to 1 hour a day as far as TV. Everything else involved reading. We could read all we want. We could play all we want and do that. So if we really wanted it that bad, we had to be checked. If she woke up and found out it wasn't done, we had to sit at the table and get them done as she watched us.
So my oldest daughter, I would tell her what she needed to get done over the week, and then she would just write down in her planner what she did. I would write down in my planner what I wanted the other two to do, but Jackson's second grade level now, so he's more like needs to be worked with more often. And Ileana, you just explained to her, like, this is what you're doing. Have any questions, let me know, and call it good. So I think homeschooling also teaches kids independence a little bit.
Yeah.
And, homeschooling now is not what it would normally be because everything's shut down. There's no big group activities. There's no field trips or karate class or ballet class or 4-H or Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or whatever. So that's a bit different. So the kids aren't usually, it's like our local homeschool group, we go in to the certain park every other week and do park cleanup, and then we play, and then there's like trips to the bouncing house plays, like river play, and like park meetups and things like that. But it's not the same now.
Yeah. There's also quite a bit of difference between regular school and homeschool as far as things that you don't learn. Like she was saying, you learn independence. Other things that you end up developing is self-learning. You actually sometimes you can pick your own assignments as long as you have the basics done. Like I said, I did ROTC, martial arts, and theater. Those were my own assignments that I picked. So you build your own self-learning courses as well. The other thing is you learn time management. Most people look at it is okay, you have to be in school for 8 hours. Okay, once my 8 hours are up, I'm done with school. In homeschooling, no, it's once the assignments are done and done correctly. So you learn time management and efficiency. Other things that a lot of homeschoolers end up learning that Hollywood likes to portray as differently. You learn to build your own social network because you don't have access to all those friends right there readily as you're schooling.
But hold on, like how many people from your school class were you friends with outside of school?
A few.
Really?
A few,
like
very
how
few.
many?
So you learn to actually get up and socialize yourself with people, and you're encouraged to go to all of these other activities that you're trying to self-learn in and build your own social network that you can actually see them outside.
So Melanie says that she's going to have to pick her brain when her son Fernando is older because she wants to homeschool him, but she has to work full time. So does his dad. So, there's no rule that says you have to do work during the day. Like if you both work during the day and you could always like leave some assignments, like reading assignments or something with him at the babysitter and then do the rest of it at home in the evening. Yeah. Also, there's no rule against that.
It's kind of like online college courses. I mean, you're going to most likely do those online college courses when your kids are asleep, so you can get through school and you're not distracted. It's kind of the same thing. You basically make it work with your schedule.
Like if for some strange reason he turns out to be a night owl, there's nothing wrong with him doing work from like 7 till 11 o'clock at night. If that's his thing, or if he's getting up at 6 a.m. so he can do schoolwork and get out of the way before everyone leaves for work, that's another thing. But I mean, in the early grades, his assignment shouldn't take no more than a couple hours to do anyway.
And if he's like, hey, I want to do more and I want to learn more and I want to continue going, the cool benefit is don't stop him. Don't stop him. Just say, go for it. Have fun.
Jackson and Illy, our younger two ones, when we used to go to the library like every other day, they would be able to pick out some reading books, but then they like, what do you want to learn about? So they go to that nonfiction section in the kids area and they would pick out a bunch of books, come home, read about it, and then you don't realize how much kids absorb just from reading books about it.
And Jackson likes the nonfiction books more than he likes the fiction books.
Definitely. So don't, like the library is an awesome option. Like, let's say he asks questions about, Mom, how far away is the moon? Why is it so bright? Just get a bunch of nonfiction books about the solar system, bring it home, a giant box of books, and just leave it out there. Don't say you have to read this. Just leave it out there for him to read or look at, or even if it's just picture books. Do that. And then, there's also like really good video learning content on YouTube if he has other questions that you might not know the answer to, or you don't know how to explain it in a kid-friendly way.
Yeah, there was not access to the internet when I was homeschooling, so you got a lot more resources available to you.
And I know you're in California, so I know like it's a little bit different, but in Oregon, there's no like set subjects we have to teach, no set hours, no set attendance. We just have to do the yearly tests at the end of 3rd, 5th, 8th, and 10th grade.
Basically to show that the kids are actually learning and meeting their grade level. We're getting close.
Yes. But I know like some other states you have to like teach certain subjects or keep track of attendance or do it through a charter. So I don't know what your rules are where you're at. Any other questions about anything? I don't know. Who else is watching? If they had any questions.
Well, this is a pretty long video. Should we wrap it up right here? And then start another video at another point in time when more questions can be developed.
Sure. Yeah, now I can't think of any either. All right, that's all right.
Great minds think alike.
All right, so if you have any questions about what we did when we traveled, there is a whole... do you want another pet? No. No.
If I was to get another pet, it'd be so hyperactive that the wife would literally kill me.
So this dude has mentioned getting a dog a few times. And I said, sure, if you can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, put on your legs and get outside for that dog takes a crap, yes, we'll get a dog.
I would have get a border collie. That explains a lot. A farm dog. A hyperactive farm dog.
So, no. I'm okay with no, like, dog hair and stuff. I'm okay with, like, a cat box somewhere. Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. But for those of you watching, if you wondered where we traveled, there's a whole playlist of travel vlogs that I created on this channel where we went. We went to the National Desert Wildlife Refuge in Las Vegas. We went to the 7 Magic Mountains in Las Vegas, a sculpture area. We went to the Grand Canyon, Petrified Forest, Northern Texas, Colorado. That was fun. But after we left the Grand Canyon and Petrified Forest, I didn't do any other videos. I think, altitude sickness was a thing. So anyone who's watching, if you have any comments about anything we talked about, just ask away. If you have any ideas for videos for this channel, that would be great too. I also was thinking of doing a how does Jesse clean his legs in a small space RV? Quick 10-minute video. I was thinking of doing that one. Any other ideas? Let us know. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.